Welcome to English Story Cafe. Today we will explore attitude is everything. There is a secret about learning English that very few teachers talk about in textbooks. It is not about grammar rules. It is not about memorizing long lists of vocabulary words until your head hurts. It is not even about how many hours you spend sitting in a classroom. The secret, the true engine that drives you from being a hesitant beginner to a confident speaker, is your attitude. It is the invisible force that determines whether you quit after a month or keep going for a lifetime. Today we are going to take a long, deep journey into the psychology of learning a language. And we are going to discover why the way you think about English is just as important as the English itself. Imagine two people standing at the bottom of a very high mountain. Let us call them Sarah and John. The mountain represents fluency in English. It is tall, the path looks steep, and the peak is hidden behind clouds. Sarah looks up at the mountain and sighs. She feels heavy. She thinks about how hard the climb will be. She worries about tripping over rocks. She worries that people will laugh at her if she runs out of breath. She keeps looking at her shoes, afraid to take the first step because she doesn't want to look foolish. She views the mountain as a burden, a test she is destined to fail. Now look at John. John sees the same mountain. It is just as steep for him as it is for Sarah. But John looks up and smiles. He is curious. He wonders what the view looks like from the first ridge. He knows he might stumble, and he knows his legs will get tired, but he accepts that as part of the hike. He is not trying to race to the top in 1 hour. He is just happy to be outside, breathing the air, moving his body. He views the mountain as an adventure. Who do you think will learn English faster? Who do you think will actually enjoy the process? It's obvious, isn't it? It is John. But the tragedy is that most learners approach English like Sarah. They treat the language like a giant, scary test that they are constantly failing. Every time they make a grammar mistake, they feel a little pain in their chest. Every time they cannot find the right word, they feel shame. They apologize constantly. "I am sorry my English is bad," they say. "I am sorry I do not understand." This attitude creates a wall. It is a wall made of fear, and it is impossible to learn when you are living behind a wall. Let us dig deeper into this fear. Why are we so afraid of making mistakes in a foreign language? When you were a baby and you were learning your first language, did you speak perfectly? Of course not. You babbled. You made funny sounds. You pointed at a dog and called it a cat. And what happened? Did your parents criticize you? Did they give you a bad grade? No. They smiled. They encouraged you. They were just happy you were communicating. You learned your native language through play, through experimentation, and through thousands of tiny mistakes that you didn't even realize were mistakes. You had the attitude of a scientist, constantly testing hypotheses without fear of judgment. But as adults, our egos get involved. We're smart people. We're professionals. We know how to do our jobs, drive our cars, and pay our taxes. So when we speak English and we sound like a child, it hurts our pride. We feel stripped of our intelligence. We have complex thoughts in our heads, but only simple words come out of our mouths. This gap between what we want to say and what we can say is frustrating. It is painful. And if your attitude is rigid, If you demand perfection from yourself, that frustration will make you quit. However, if you shift your attitude, that gap becomes a playground. Instead of feeling stupid for using simple words, you can feel proud of your creativity. You can think, wow, I didn't know the word for automobile, but I said the car that goes fast, and they understood me. That is a victory. That is communication. The goal of learning English is not to sound like a dictionary. It is to connect with other human beings. If you can order a coffee, ask for directions, or make a friend laugh, you are succeeding. It doesn't matter if your verb tense was slightly off. Connection is the goal, not perfection. Let us talk about the concept of the talent myth. Many people have a very damaging attitude that says, I am just not good at languages. They look at polyglots, people who speak 5 or 6 languages, and they think those people have a magic brain. They think it's a talent you're born with, like having blue eyes or being tall. This is a convenient excuse. It protects us. If we believe we lack the talent, then we don't have to try hard, because we're destined to fail anyway. But research shows that talent plays a very small role compared to attitude and consistency. The person who speaks English fluently didn't get there because they have a special gene. They got there because they didn't quit when it got hard. They got there because they fell in love with the process. They listened to English music even when they didn't understand the lyrics. They watched movies and just let the sounds wash over them. They adopted an attitude of immersion and curiosity. They made English a part of their life, not just a subject to study on Sundays. Think about how you speak to yourself when you are learning. The internal monologue is powerful. If you sit down to study and think, I have to do this. It is so boring. I will never remember these words. Your brain will listen to you. Your brain will shut down. It will treat the information as stress, and it will try to filter it out. But if you sit down and think, I wonder what new phrase I will discover today, or I get to listen to this interesting podcast, your brain opens up. It becomes a sponge. This is a simple shift from I have to I get to. You don't have to learn English. You get to learn English. You have the privilege of accessing a global language that connects you to billions of people, millions of books, and endless opportunities. That is a gift. There is a wonderful concept in psychology called the growth mindset. People with a fixed mindset believe their intelligence is static. If they fail, it means they are not smart. People with a growth mindset believe their abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. When a growth mindset learner makes a mistake, they don't say, I am bad at this. They say, that was interesting. Why did I make that mistake? What can I learn from it? They treat mistakes as data. Every error is a signpost pointing you toward what you need to learn next. If you never make mistakes, it means you are not trying anything new. It means you are staying in your comfort zone. And nothing grows in the comfort zone. Let us imagine a specific scenario. You are in a coffee shop in London or New York. You walk up to the counter. The barista is busy. There is a line of people behind you. And you feel the pressure rising. Your heart starts beating fast. This is the moment of truth. A learner with a negative attitude, let us call him the Worrier, will freeze. He will rehearse his sentence 20 times in his head. I would like a cappuccino, please. I would like a cappuccino, please. When he finally gets to the front, he's so tense that he mumbles. The barista says, sorry, what was that? The Worrier panics. He feels humiliated. He thinks, see, my English is terrible. He retreats. Now imagine the learner with the positive attitude, the adventurer. She walks up to the counter. She's nervous too, but she smiles. She knows she might mess up. She says, "Hello, can I have a cappuccino?" Maybe she pronounces it wrong. The barista says, "Sorry, what?" The adventurer doesn't panic. She laughs. She points to the machine. She speaks louder and clearer. She treats it like a game. She gets her coffee. She walks away feeling triumphant because she survived the interaction. She didn't die. The world didn't end. She communicated. The difference in skill level between the worrier and the adventurer might be 0. They might know the exact same amount of vocabulary, but their lives are completely different because of their attitude. One lives in a small box of fear. The other lives in a big world of possibility. Another aspect of attitude is patience. We live in a world of instant gratification. We want fast food, fast internet, and fast results. We see advertisements that say, "Learn English in 30 days," or "Fluent in 3 months." These are lies. They sell us a fantasy. When we don't become fluent in 3 months, we get discouraged. We think something is wrong with us. But language learning is not a sprint. It is a marathon. It is more like growing a garden than building a house. You cannot force a plant to grow faster by pulling on it. You have to water it, give it sunlight, and wait. There will be seasons in your learning journey. There will be springs where you feel like you are learning 10 new words a day and everything is clicking. You feel like a genius. But then there will be winters. You will hit a plateau. You will feel like you are studying but not improving. You might even feel like you are getting worse. This is the danger zone. This is where most people quit. But if you have the right attitude, you understand that the plateau is necessary. It is where your brain is consolidating information. It is where the roots are growing deep underground, even if you can't see the leaves growing above. If you stay calm, if you trust the process, the spring will come again. Your attitude also determines how you listen. Have you ever listened to someone speaking English and panicked because you didn't understand the third word they said? Your brain freezes on that one unknown word. You stop listening to the rest of the sentence because you are obsessing over the one piece you missed. This is the attitude of perfectionism blocking comprehension. A relaxed listener hears an unknown word and lets it go. They focus on the flow, the context, the body language. They trust that they will understand the main idea even if they miss the details. They surf the wave of the language instead of trying to catch every single drop of water. Let's talk about comparison. Comparison is the thief of joy. In the age of social media, it is easy to go online and see videos of people speaking English with perfect accents. You look at them, and then you look at yourself, and you feel small. But you are seeing their highlight reel. You are not seeing the years of struggle, the thousands of mistakes, the hours of practice. You are comparing your chapter 1 to their chapter 20. This is unfair to yourself. The only person you should compare yourself to is the person you were yesterday. If you know one more word today than you did yesterday, you are winning. If you understood 5% more of that movie than you did last year, you are winning. Celebrate your own progress. Be your own cheerleader. It is also important to redefine what it means to be fluent. Many learners have an attitude that says, "I will be happy only when I speak exactly like a native speaker." This is a trap. Native speakers make mistakes too. Native speakers hesitate. Native speakers forget words. If you aim for a robotic perfection that even natives don't possess, you are setting yourself up for misery. Embrace your accent. Your accent is part of your identity. It shows that you are brave enough to speak a second language. It shows your history. As long as you are clear and understandable, your accent is not a flaw. It is a feature. It adds flavor to your voice. So how do we practically change our attitude? How do we move from fear to curiosity? It starts with gratitude. Before you study, take a moment to be thankful that you have the resources to learn. Be thankful for your brain's amazing ability to adapt. Remind yourself why you started. Did you start learning English to get a better job, to travel, to understand songs? Reconnect with that passion. Visualize yourself using English successfully. Close your eyes and imagine yourself laughing with friends in English, ordering food with ease, giving a presentation with confidence. This visualization primes your brain for success. Change the way you consume content. Don't just read textbooks. Read things that you genuinely love. If you love cooking, read recipes in English. If you love soccer, watch match commentary in English. If you love romance novels, read them in English. When you engage with content that you are passionate about, you forget that you are studying. The language becomes a vehicle for your interest, not a chore. Your attitude shifts from studying to enjoying. Surround yourself with positive voices. If you have a teacher who makes you feel stupid, find a new teacher. If you have friends who mock your accent, tell them to stop or find new friends to practice with. You need a safe environment where mistakes are welcomed. Join online communities where the vibe is supportive, not competitive. When you see others struggling and succeeding, it fuels your own belief. And finally, be kind to yourself. Learning a language is one of the hardest things an adult can do. It requires vulnerability. It is tiring. There will be days when your brain feels like mush. That is okay. Take a break. Go for a walk. But don't let a bad day turn into a bad attitude. Remind yourself that you are on a journey. Every single time you open your mouth to speak English, you are doing something brave. You are stepping out of the known into the unknown. As we come to the end of our time today, I want you to take a deep breath. Let go of the tension in your shoulders. Let go of the shame of past mistakes. Let go of the pressure to be perfect. Look at your English journey with fresh eyes. See it as a beautiful, messy, exciting adventure. You are not just learning words, you are expanding your soul. You are building bridges to other cultures. You are becoming a more complex, more interesting version of yourself. Remember, the grammar will come, the vocabulary will stick, the accent will soften. All of that is just a matter of time and practice. But the fuel that keeps you moving forward, the light that guides you through the confusion, is your attitude. If you believe you can, you are halfway there. If you enjoy the stumbling, the learning, the awkward moments, you will eventually reach the summit of that mountain, and the view will be spectacular. So, the next time you hesitate to speak, the next time you feel that fear rising in your throat, smile. Remind yourself, I am a learner. I am an adventurer. I am doing this. Attitude is everything. Keep talking, keep listening, And most importantly, keep believing in yourself. Thank you for listening to English Story Cafe. Until next time, happy learning!